Yo, good evening. Welcome everyone out there to the show. Welcome to Afrobeat Live Fan Zone show. It's been a long time, too long, by the way, for us to get together and talk about the thing that we love, one of the things that we love the most, sports, and in particular, football. But not today. Today we are here together. I'm here with Ty to talk about a number of things on ABL Fan Zone, the Afrobeat Live Fan Zone. Ty, welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Tell our viewers what ABL is, and can you just introduce what ABL is so they're aware of what it is? I know right now we're streaming on 4 different platforms. We're streaming on ABL, we're streaming on Patrick's Who City Fan, we're streaming on Football and Chills, we're streaming on Pitch Points. So we have like 4 or 5 channels that we're streaming on, and also on Facebook. But Ty is somebody I've known for a very long time. He started ABL, he's the CEO of ABL. We started the whole sports journey together, and I'd like him to kind of talk about what ABL is and what we intend to do next.
Yeah, so Afrobeat Live is a media company based out of DC area, the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. For those that are not familiar with the DMV, since we're streaming worldwide, and we have different shows, we have different topics. We focus on music, we have events. One of the shows that we have is ABL Fan Zone, which we talk about sports, not just soccer, even though football, dominates most of the conversation, but we talk about sports in general. So that's basically the quick gist of ABL and Fan Zone.
Absolutely. And we just had a Christmas party, right? Last week or last week?
December 2nd. Yeah, it's almost 2 weeks now. Time is flying.
That was an amazing party.
A massive Christmas party. Had over 600 people there. It was a great event. We celebrate with everybody, with the community, give an awards to people that are doing great things in the community, raise funds for charity. So it's a great event.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Talking about big events and good events, I mean, we just spent the last 30 days or so watching 64 Super Bowls unfold in Doha, Qatar. The World Cup 2022 is now over. And what was your overriding feeling at the end of it all? Were you tired? Were you exhausted? Were you disappointed? Well, how were you feeling?
I wouldn't say that I was exhausted. I don't think, for me personally, I cannot be exhausted from watching a lot of great games. And this is probably one of the best World Cups I've seen as an adult that I actually got a chance to really, really enjoy. So, but I do miss EPL. I won't lie. I do miss EPL. I miss MLS, for those that care to know. But it's a great event. I mean, it started great with great games, a lot of upset. Was a very, very exciting game. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
Nigeria is not there, and USA didn't make it past the round of 16, but they did well. I'm very proud of what the guys did. So it was great. I wasn't tired. I mean, it was. I think the timing was just great, and to cap it up, with the watch party we had, you were there, at the co-house. That was a great game to watch with a group of soccer heads, regardless of you are France, you're supporting France or Argentina. It was just a great atmosphere, great food. So it was a really, really nice event. So hopefully people that I watch from the DMV can join us next time we have this kind of watch parties.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to our social media, Afrobeat Live, you see kind of the clips from the watch party of the final. I mean, there was champagne flowing, there was coffee, there was breakfast, there was pancakes, yam, eggs, corned beef stew. Everything was there. It was a really great session at Echo House. That's in Rockville. One of our friends owns a restaurant, and he opened his doors at 8 a.m. in the morning for all kinds of people to come and watch it. I think there were probably around maybe 60 or 50 people there. And It was just a great show to watch the World Cup final with your friends and family and create those memories. I thought it was magnificent. I mean, the World Cup itself, and we have some friends who are here. Luca, welcome. Luca AFC, welcome. Create this memory. Yeah, McLovin, welcome to the show. Hope you are well, all the way in England or wherever you are. Thanks for joining the show. Patrick's probably asleep now because I think it's past his bedtime. That's why he's not joining us. But decided to come and do the show for 30. The World Cup, our review, and then begins. We know we have a season to finish. We're not even halfway in the season with England. In England, Champions League, the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, all these things are happening. I think tomorrow, as to what's coming down the pike and what we think about that going forward. But let's also see if we can add some more people to the show. We have a few people who can join us. We've sent links out to Martin, to people from our Afrobeat Live Fan Zone WhatsApp group to join us. If you can join us, join us. Let's have a conversation real quick about what we expect to happen. But Ty, back to you. I mean, I guess for the World Cup, I mean, what was the best game you think for you? What was a game that captured your excitement in the World Cup?
Personally, for me, the game that I was most nervous was probably, I would say, the U.S. Game. The game against England, the tie felt like a win, that for me personally. But the most exciting game was definitely, I gotta say, the final. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The final was just it's just so much in stake. There's so much back and forth. There's so much greatness going on. There's a little bit of the Otamendi's, the mistakes. I gotta slide that in there because we all expected it. He had everything. He had drama. You couldn't write a movie script better than that. You know what I mean? I mean, it was just great. So for me personally, I think the final was probably the best game outside of the US game, because the US game, I'm emotionally attached to it. I'm emotionally involved. The final, I was a Messi fan, even though I was a neutral as far as what country I support. But personally, I wanted Messi to win it. So the drama was just there. You couldn't write a better script for a final game and for a way for Messi to exit a World Cup tournament than that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you compare this final to the final in 2018 in Russia, I think this was more because it was 50-50, right? Going into the game, we all felt it was anybody can win this game. France could win it. Argentina can win it, right? It was unlike the one in Russia. It was France, Croatia. We all kind of knew that France was probably going to win it because of the quality that they have in Pogba and all these players, in Mbappe and Kante, all these guys that were there. But this one was so finely balanced that any small mistake, the game can change. And that's what happened in the 75th minute, 80th minute, 2-0 up, one mistake from Otamendi, and bang, France are in. One goal comes, second goal comes, and within a minute, and it's 2-2. And then all hell breaks loose because now we go to 3-2, right, with a Messi goal.
And I know we'll talk about it. I mean, I want to, to touch a little bit about later on about the tactical.
Yeah, talk about it. Well, talk about it. Talk about what you learned tactically from both Scaloni of Argentina and from Didier Deschamps of France. What you experienced, what you saw from a tactical perspective.
So I think the Argentina coach made some bold calls that really, 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 really benefited them early in the game, right? The first 60 minutes belongs to Argentina because the midfield was really, really good. The way it's set up, making a call to start Di Maria.
Yeah.
After being out for 2 games, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a brilliant call. I don't know what anybody said. I know some people, I have a couple friends that text me, like, why is Di Maria starting? After being out, I'm like, hey, he trusts his man, and he's well rested. He's not going to give you 90 minutes. I think you and I also talked about that day, that he's not going to give you 90 minutes, but you need whatever it give you. And you can see it was very effective. But I was really, really impressed with the midfield, with Enzo, DePaul, and even though McAllister. I mean, those guys really, really, really stifling France's midfielder, and they prevented. I mean, what's it called? Mbappe was non-existent the first 63 minutes.
He wasn't.
The first half, it was not. I imagine having Deschamps take out Giroud. He's starting
and Griezmann.
40 minutes into the game and started to make changes and realizing the mistake. I wouldn't say mistakes, but we realized that he was being coached. Our coach was and having to make changes. So I really, really enjoyed that tactical part of the game, to be honest with you.
But isn't that? No, I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. Isn't that I mean, from a coaching point, we have coaches we like to learn from. You talked about it for the World Cup. You talked about the fact that what you're looking for in the World Cup is to learn from what coaches do in game when they change their tactics. You want to learn from that because these guys don't have time, right? There's no pre-World Cup season where they can have 3 or 4 weeks or 1 month to work with the players. They have what they have. They go into the game and they have to adapt in game quickly. So it was interesting. I think to your point, it was interesting to see that he was not afraid, Deschamps, to make a change in 40 minutes. I mean, halftime was 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
Right? He makes the change. Take what's his name? Giroud. And takes out Griezmann. Now, Griezmann has been one of the best players of France in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And it brings those 2 kids on. And then it takes some time to get them in. So for me, I thought having Di Maria on that left side was tactically spot on. Because what he was trying to do was make sure that Dembele gets pushed back.
Yeah.
Because Koundé was a right back. Koundé is not a right back. Koundé is a centre back playing right back. So he was clearly not a traditional right back. And then he now forced Dembele back to help Koundé, which is where the penalty comes from. Because now Dembele is trying to mark and trying to help out Koundé, and it trips off Di Maria, and there's a penalty.
Yeah.
You notice that when Di Maria comes off and Acuna comes on, that's when Wahala now starts, because then Acuna cannot push forward. All the forwards are coming towards, and then that's when the Wahala starts.
Yeah. But I still think, though, and I said it live at that time because we watched it together again, that I think it was too soon to take Dembele and Giroud out in the 41st minute. Right? I think it was just fun. I think you take it because it kills the confidence of those 2 players. Let's be real. Yes, they are professional, they are world-class players, but for just 4 or 5 minutes, I think you could have just kept them on and make the change at halftime, and then you make it seem like it was a tactical change, not necessarily lack of performance from those 2 particular players.
Yeah.
And those are the 2 players that I got you all the way to the final. Dembele has been brilliant, in this tournament. I mean, as far as the tournament, maybe not in the final, but in the whole tournament. So is Giroud. Has done well the whole tournament. I wouldn't say it's been brilliant, but it's been good. And for you to just kind of take them out in the 48 minutes, 5 minutes before halftime, I question that rash decision, but and if you notice, it took them out. There was no noticeable change right away, right? The noticeable change didn't come until Di Maria came out, like you said, in the 78th minute.
Yeah.
So there was no change. There was no change in the tactic. There was no change in the pressing. There was no change in the attack. It was just the same thing because Argentina's midfielders were just brilliant. Yeah. And there was nothing Giroud and Dembele could have done at that time.
Yeah. Argentina had workers in the midfield. DePaul, Enzo, and McAllister were just working, man. They were running and running and running and running. And Atletico Madrid, Brighton, I mean, that guy kid at Brighton, McAllister, I mean, God knows how much his value is going to be now, going back to Brighton with the World Cup medal on his chest. I mean, it's incredible, right? And then Enzo Fernandez, who was playing he's 21 years of playing for River Plate, now is at Benfica.
Yeah. And got his first World Cup at 21,
Can you imagine that? 21.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So, I mean, for me, apart from that game, I thought the games that I enjoyed, the Saudi Arabia, Argentina, I enjoyed that one. Because I was fascinated by what did that high line, low block.
Yeah.
High line, low block. Like, okay, that's so much risk because you're playing high line in a low block with so much spacing behind. But what he did well was that he knew that Argentina didn't have fast wingers on the field. They had Papu Gomez and somebody else who was not very quick. And so those guys were able to push them back and really work hard to win the ball and ultimately win the game for Saudi Arabia. So that was one game that impressed me. Another game, the Spain-Costa Rica was a masterclass in possession. The Portugal versus Switzerland was another great game. That was good. What do you think about US and Netherlands? Were you disappointed in the coach?
No. I mean, it was a tough game to win, right? In the sense that if you look at the lineup, right, Netherlands were better. We watched the game and we were chatting throughout the game. I know, but most of the time when US is playing, I'm usually very arrogant or arrogant-ish in a way and make predictions. But that game, I just didn't feel it. Because when you look at it, we just didn't have the talent to match to them. And that's what it came down to. US started well, they pressed, but at the end of the day, you just if you don't finish, US does not have an eye, right?
Yeah.
So you can't count on Pulisic that had his pelvic broken 4 days before that to come and save us, right?
Yeah.
And it just they count out on that mistake that US made. So it was a very nervous game for me. I'm glad I watched it by myself with with my boys, and it was just it was expected. It was expected, to be honest with you. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't disappointed. We could have, if you guys won, I would have been elated. I would have been really glad, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm shocked or disappointed. No.
I mean, I think at the end of the day,
sometimes you just know, hey, it's a better team.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's quality, right? The quality of the players from Netherlands. I mean, Frankie de Jong, Virgil van Dijk, Memphis Depay. I mean, the guy from Gakpo from PSV, just Nathan Ake. It's just quality. And after a while,
it's not like they dominated US completely. They took advantage of the opportunities that US gave them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They absolutely did. But yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about with regards to the World Cup? I know we don't have too much time.
Yeah, I know we don't have a lot of time, but so I just want to say to anybody and everyone that doesn't give Messi his flowers, so to say, don't be a hater. At some point you have to just give it up and just say, hey, the man is the GOAT. He's won it at club level. He has won Copa America for his country. Now he's going out as the best player in a World Cup final and got the World Cup, the goal that has been elusive all his career. He's been in this game in the national level, international level since he was 16. He's 35. And he took him
what else is he going to win? He's won everything.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else he has to do to prove that he's the best of the best, And I'm glad. I mean, the rumor I'm hearing, I don't know if you can confirm it, that he is done. I mean, he's confirmed that this is definitely going to be his last World Cup. If I were him, I would just retire from international duty, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the guy's won World Cup, Champions Leagues. He has 6 Ballon d'Ors, like 13 LaLiga titles. I mean, he's done it. He's done it all. 3 Club World Cups.
So what do you think? Do you think he should retire? Let me ask you this: do you think he should retire from international duty, or should keep going?
I think he should retire. I mean, seriously, because in 4 years, he'll be what, 39? Are you going to play 39?
Yeah. Copa America is in 2024.
2 years.
Yeah.
He'll be 30. What? 37?
Yeah.
No. Because what if you don't win again? You not go out on the low.
Exactly.
Just go out now.
I think you just go out and just do clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, in the same token, I want to say, I'm really happy for Mbappe. He did his thing. Of course, he didn't win it, but Mbappe still got 3 to 4 World Cups left in him.
Of course.
I don't see France not qualifying for a World Cup. I don't see France in the next 10 years not making it to a semifinal or further in any World Cup. So he's going to have his chance. It's just that when Messi comes into the PSG locker room,
just give the old man his World Cup, man. He's got
to be one of the first guys to shake his hand and just say congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, just give the old man his World Cup. You have one already. And you have the Golden Boot too. So it's just. Do you think? I mean, I know we talk about this all the time, but how do you think this will influence their Champions League, PSG? The fact that Mbappe, of course, is Mbappe. Messi won the World Cup. How will it affect Bayern Munich up in February?
I don't think it will in any way, shape, or form. To be honest, I don't think it will. I still don't think they're gonna win it. I mean, the time that I put on them is actually expired this year. So, last year, the 5 years, and I still don't think they're gonna win it. They just, that they don't have that competition in their league to make them elite, to put them over the edge. It's tough to always kind of get yourself up.
Mm.
You know, especially when it gets to the knockout stages. It's not home, and it's not group stages where you can lose one game and still come out. No, we're in the
Mm.
knockout stages now. Is that a win
Mm.
or go home?
Mm.
Home and away. So an aggregate goals is taken away. So I think actually that makes it tough, like for teams like PSG that could probably and Barcelona that can probably come back on on away goals and stuff like that.
Right.
So I don't think it changes anything for them.
I kind of agree with you. I tend to agree with you. I think that, to your point, I think, when you're playing up in France, no disrespect to Ligue 1, and if versus playing in the Premier League or even La Liga, and the levels are just complete. Now, the game against Bayern Munich, I fancy them to go through because Neuer out back yet, and so all of a sudden Bayern Munich could have all the players ready and fit and firing. I just don't trust that Nagelsmann guy. I just don't
Yeah.
trust him personally.
You
So
know how I feel about
I
it.
yeah, so I feel that PSG may actually may qualify for the quarterfinal. Then it kind of opens up. The Madrid has Liverpool in the round of 16, and it could open up for other clubs. So I agree with you. Yeah, I think the level of competition to get yourself up and down and up and down, it just takes a lot of energy to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the Premier League coming back after Christmas. I think starting tomorrow, I believe the Carabao Cup starts again. I don't really care about the Carabao Cup, to be fair. I know my fan base will hate me for this, but given the games that we have to play, I couldn't care less about the Carabao Cup. What about you?
I mean, that was going to be my first question for you. What do you think about Friday's game? I think it's Friday. You guys, no, Thursday.
Thursday. I couldn't care less about
City
the game
Liverpool.
Friday. I couldn't care less.
I mean, I don't
just
think
couldn't.
KDB is playing. I guess there was no Liverpool player in the final. I think they had one in the semifinal, so they should be ready.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, there's just too many things to do. I mean, with the schedule that we have right now, with the games every 3 days, you want to add Carabao Cup on top of it again. It's just, I just think it's just too. It's just let
yeah, I mean,
Liverpool, worry about.
it's a weird year.
Yeah, yeah. My fan base will be happy because they want to win everything. Like, well, I mean, I know you can't prioritize, but goodness me, it's not a. I don't think it's a priority for us. My opinion.
I mean, the
I
good
mean,
thing is it's AFL, and you guys have a deep bench, so a lot of the guys like Pep may play those guys that did not even go to the World Cup at all. If you
yeah,
guys have it on your roster, to start them and then kind of bring in the guys that didn't make it past maybe the round of 16.
mm,
Those guys should be fresh and should have been training. I know Chelsea went to Dubai to train. I'm not sure what city trained during the off
we're
season.
doing Abu Dhabi. Abu
Abu
Dhabi.
Dhabi. Okay, so they were all in the same area. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it should be interesting. High level
yeah.
clubs are back. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's look at the Premier League. Let me pull up the table so we can let me share the table so we look at the Premier League and see
Yeah,
where we.
Boxing Day. Boxing Day is, Premier League is back.
Yeah, it all starts. Let me share my screen real quick. Uh, here we go. Can you share my screen?
Yeah, I see. I see.
So yeah, it all starts on Boxing. Imagine that Boxing. We're the only league that's going to be active on Boxing Day in
That's it.
the actually be active. So you have Belgium, England, uh, nobody else. France, League Two. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
because
eyes
they
will be in the
usually
Premier
off.
League.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're off.
This is something. This is
So
the
yeah, right
reason
now.
why EPL is still very, very popular.
So right now the table, if I remember, it's Arsenal 37, City 32, game in hand. Newcastle, and we'll talk about that. 30, Tottenham 29, United, Liverpool, Brighton, Chelsea. With game in hands, or 14 have game in hands. There's still 20 games. 28 games to 24 games to go. That's a lot. That's a lot of games.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
Actually,
ton of games to go. So the first game, really Brighton Tottenham. I mean, look at what we have on that Boxing Day. Which game are you excited to watch?
I mean, I know I'm gonna be up Boxing Day at 7:30 in the morning. Not to open
Watching
gifts,
everything.
but to watch the first game. I don't plan on going anywhere that day. To be honest, I've missed EPL. I can watch the game from 7 a.m. I could be up as early as 7 a.m. and watch the 5 p.m. So that's the beauty of it. I'm looking forward to that early game just to see what Spurs has done. Harry Kane and all those guys coming back. Um, and Brentford is it's no slouch.
Yeah.
They're 10th on the table, so you can't take them for granted.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to Arsenal West Ham.
Mm.
That's another tight game too.
Mm.
I
mean, for those who are watching from England or anywhere in the world, so if you look at the times, for Saturday, this is Eastern Time, US. So right from 6:30 in the morning, most of us are up looking at the pre-game show on NBC. From 6 in the morning, we're making our coffee, we're getting ready, we're chatting, and all the way from 6 in the morning to almost 5 in the evening, we're literally watching Premier League back to back.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So many of us will be eating our Christmas chicken or leftover next morning, watching Brentford and Tottenham, then Palace and Fulham, Everton and Wolves. That's a big game time because those two guys, I believe, are at the bottom of the league. Let's look at the league, right? If you look at the league, Everton and Wolves, that's a massive game. 17th position, 14 points. 10th position, 20 at 10 points. If Wolves win that game, all of a sudden they're up, to probably 18th. Everton are now almost dropping to relegation. So that's going to be a massive game that they're going to be planning for.
Every game is crucial. Whatever you've done so far, if you can be smart enough to forget it and like you're starting fresh, like you're starting the season all over and just give it all your all, then you might have a chance, of doing well. That's pretty much the second half of the season, except you have 24 games left in the second half, So,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to West Ham, but also the Aston Villa, Liverpool. This is going to be another game that I'm looking forward to. It'll tell us a lot about what's going on with Liverpool this year and if they can recover form from where it is right now to try and challenge for top 4, or they're going to try and challenge for that.
I think top 4 is hard. What do you think? I think top 4 is harder this year than most years. It's hard, but with sorry, go ahead.
Top 4 is brutal this year.
It's brutal because Arsenal, Newcastle is doing great.
This is a problem right here. Newcastle are a problem right here. See that? Yes. These guys here, they're disruptive. They may change how this top 4 looks at the end of the day.
Yeah,
they are a problem
because I think Brighton are going to be put in their place, which is probably going to be top 10 at the end of the day, out of the top 6. But that Newcastle coming up and playing so well and got the right players, the traditional top 6 is going to be really, really shaking. Somebody may not make it. It could be Chelsea, but a team in normally makes top 4, top 6 may not even make to Conference League.
Because right now, Potter has to start on a strong foot right now. Right now, he just has to, because you got to look at the form. It's draw, loss, draw, right? So it's a draw, loss. So he's lost the last 3 games in a row. Hasn't won in 5. Difference of 0, and he's 21 points. And the 4th position is 29. So there's 8-point gap between them and Tottenham.
But Tottenham is out.
But Tottenham have a game more. They play the game more. So that's not 5 points. Which is not, 5 points in 24 games left. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. The problem that Chelsea's got now is Broja is out. Luckily, Aubameyang didn't go to World Cup. Hopefully, he's been training, not rusty. Because now you got to play him. Pulisic should be 100% fit. Ziyech is probably not going to play that game on the 26th or come off the bench. He doesn't really like him anyway, so it's not a factor. Mount should be fresh, so he's got to do something now. It's either now or never, because right after that, a few days after that, the January transfer window is open.
You're right. It is.
So
it's got to start now. Now it's time to step up. This is the time to begin to push for everything now. And then let's go on the 27th again. Every single day after Christmas is a game. Chelsea, Bournemouth. You should win this game, right? I mean, this is a nice, comfortable start, in my opinion, for you guys to get 3 points.
It's a good start, but I still don't trust Graham Potter. I'm sorry. He's yet to convince me. Is yet to convince me. I think I talked about this in our group, the Friendson group. Like, I watched the game. I don't know what formation or what style Chelsea's playing.
Yeah.
Nobody can explain it.
Well, I mean, what are they saying in the prospects with Potter? Are they? And I know your fan base is very ruthless. They don't have time for rubbish. They quickly, forming, they want you out. Is it? Things change now with
surprisingly in the Chelsea WhatsApp group chat, most people want to give him a chance to prove himself, right? I'm on the other hand where I'm like, I don't know what he's trying to do. As much as I didn't like Sarri, I know what he was trying to do. I just knew it wouldn't work, right? The style he was trying to play that wouldn't work for EPL. Now, with Graham Potter, I don't know what he's doing. With Tuchel, you knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what his style is.
Yeah.
And him himself is making a lot of changes in within game. But it's not about Chelsea, but I'm just like, whatever. At this moment, I'm just watching because I'm a football fan.
Let's see how he starts. I mean, if he starts well and you begin to kind of climb your way back through, I mean, if you let's look at the next the next couple of games. Let's see.
But City is playing Leeds. That should be an interesting game on Wednesday, the 28th. What do you think?
Leeds are difficult team to play if they're on it. So who knows, man? I mean, it's just with World Cup coming back, form, you just never know what's going on. Let's see if we can fixtures.
Are you looking for Chelsea's fixtures?
Here we go. Yeah, I mean, look for. There we go. I'll see Chelsea. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, the schedule favors Chelsea.
Good schedule. I was watching next 5.
It's the schedule. Yeah, I think the schedule is not difficult. He's just got so after Bournemouth, I can tell you what I see. So after Bournemouth, you got Forest, Nottingham Forest, you got Man City. Well, City back to back, FA and League. Then it's Fulham, Crystal Palace, then Liverpool.
What about that? Okay. At the league.
In the league. So
everybody has
yeah, so it's Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, City, Fulham, Crystal Palace, then Liverpool. I mean, they're all winnable games, They're all, I mean, not all, but it's not extremely difficult. It's not like you're playing the top 6 teams back to back to back to back. That's what you want to avoid, right? You don't want to play the traditional top 6 or top 4 teams back to back to back. We don't have that.
Yeah. Well, look, France are also back on the 28th. That's interesting. Yeah. So, I mean, I think to your point, I mean, the first round of games, I think Chelsea get the 3 points. United probably get the 3 points. Hopefully, City get their 3 points too on the 28th. Hopefully, whatever it means. I think the games that are tricky. This game is tricky. Brentford, Tottenham, Villa, Liverpool is tricky, and then Arsenal, West Ham could be tricky. Although it's at the Emirates, yeah. And this one here is interesting because it's relegation. Leicester, any of the interesting to watch because the top 6 implications, title implications, all the way through. The stories are all intertwined through. You know, New Year's Day. Let's see what. Yeah, you go to Forest and Tottenham have Villa. I think we have Brentford, Liverpool on second. On the third, this is a big game. This game here, that's a big game.
Which one is that? The Arsenal and Newcastle?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's a big game. And of course, our game too is going to be big. Chelsea City is going to be big as well. Palace Spurs.
Well, so I mean, yeah, to kind of wrap up, it's I mean, I'm glad EPL is back. World Cup was great.
Uche, welcome.
Hey, what's going on?
Wrap up.
Hey, brother, how are you? I did. Hello, everyone. This is Uche. Uche is a Chelsea fan. He's one of the friends of the ABL fan zone show. He's a regular customer. We haven't had him for a very long time. Uche, we're about to wrap up, but are you looking forward to the start of the Premier League?
I'm actually looking forward to it. The World Cup was a welcome break for us. I'm not sure if it was for City or Arsenal. I know Liverpool needed a break. Chelsea definitely needed a break. We have players that were out injured that are back now. Fofana, Reece, and Chilwell. I'm not sure about Ngolo right now, but I think he's better than he was a month ago. So we should be seeing, hopefully getting better results than we're getting in the past. And also has given Graham Potter time to really implement his ideas on the team.
Are you on the fence with Potter? Are you sold on him, or are you
I'm not
out?
totally sold on Potter because I mean I've known he did a very, very brilliant job with Brighton. But I think Tuchel, I think the firing of Tuchel was a little too hasty. Being that the new owners, I think they should have given him at least one season. And maybe see, but with Potter, I think these new guys, I don't think they're like the Abramovich administration that was trigger happy. I think they're going to give him time. I think even if we fall out of the top 4, I think he's still going to be there. I don't think he's going to get fired. I don't want to believe that this season is not a top 4 season. The table doesn't lie. We're not playing the kind of football that I think we should be playing. We have players, we have good players. We just is not sinking right. Sterling, I think Sterling was a good addition for us. But I don't think Ziyech is an EPL player. He's good. I just don't think he's an EPL player.
Yeah. I mean, the Premier League is a whole deal. We've talked about it so many times. I've known you now for a while. You talked about, and you tied to about the speed, the quality of the Premier League. And some players are great in it. Some others just struggle. I remember we had this guy called Nolito.
Right.
Who came from Spain to the Premier League in 16. The guy couldn't last a year. He was off. Sold him.
Yeah.
And Ferran Torres came for 6 months. Got sold.
Ferran Torres, I don't think Ferran Torres is. I think he's all hype. I don't think he's as good as what they say he is. Barcelona took him. I don't know what they see in him. And speaking of Barcelona, I'm glad we didn't get the guy from Leeds, Rafinha, because he hasn't really produced. Aubameyang. I welcome the idea of what was that?
Yeah, I mean, So I know we have to wrap up soon, Talia, because
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to go pick up someone from somewhere. But which is that I'd like to have you back on the show because I think I enjoy your perspective. I really enjoy your perspective. I think we need to have a deeper discussion once we have the first week of the return of the Premier League.
Definitely.
So I would encourage that you please in. We'll schedule it. We'll have time. We'll bring people in from different perspectives. But I want to have you on because I really appreciate your own. And we've known each other for years, and again, it's part of the ABU Fan Zone crew. To talk more about the Premier League, it's going to be a very busy season.
Definitely.
And
games are going to be coming in fast.
It's crazy. We have no rest on football, literally.
I know.
We're over football.
I know.
All right, wrap us up.
All right, thank you guys. I know we have to go, so we'll do this again in about a week or two. We'll send a message out. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed the World Cup. And now EPL is back. We're looking forward to it and see you guys in about 2 weeks.
All right. So then take care, everybody. Thanks, Uche, for joining us. In about 2 weeks, we'll talk and we'll schedule something. You see the flyers, you see the posts on social media. Join us for a conversation. We'll have Patrick on and all those other players, friends of ours who are part of the Fan Zone will be on as well. But till then, God bless. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.